all you need today is your long pole. Longer the better. I'm not ridiculously long, but I just actually have a broomstick that I've removed the broom off and it works beautifully. So nothing expensive is required. And then I've got my hand weights. So when we're doing some leg patterns, if you'd like a little bit of resistance, have your hand weights. I've just placed them to the very front because the first movement will be based off a lunge where you grab them out front. So you can just slide them out front if you're using them. And then headrest or seating pad or kneeling pad should you need that. Otherwise, start yourself in parallel sits bones, a little bit tight in the hips. You can stand a little wider in that position just so that the hips are feeling a little more open. Be mindful of your body. Just listen to what it's going to tell you today's all about. Think pubic bone all the way up to xiphoid process. We're just kind of doing that nice little zipper as we draw the abs in. Starting to just take an awareness into the feet, and we're just shifting the weight. So if you want to come all the way up to a strong releve on that shift, go ahead. Or if you just want to float. I'm floating, knees are slightly bent. Pole is gently in front. Just starting a nice little roll of the shoulders. I'm retracting, protracting, elevating and depressing. And then I'm zippering up. Inhale, nose, exhale through the mouth. Let's do 2 more of those. Sorry, guys. And go 1 more. And then keep that pole nice and still. And let's focus on a good, strong releve. So peek down just initially. Make sure one foot's not in front of the other. Make sure that you're not turned out more through one hip than the other. The foot is just a response of the hip movement, right? Inhale, exhale, inhale, nose, exhale, mouth. Nice strong zipper. And then pulse it up for me. 5, 4. Notice if you're sickling out. Put more pressure on your big toe. 2, 1. Lower it down. Morning, Lisa. Heels together, toes apart. You look successful if that's what you're looking for. Lower and lift. Rise up and bring it down. Let's go 2 more. And I shouldn't say good morning, good afternoon, Lisa. Pulse it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. And then toes together, heels apart, tailbone is heavy. Lift and lower. Let's go 4 more. And 3. Last 2. And pulse it up for me. 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower it down. Shift it, heel toe it out so it's quite wide. Quite wide. Beautiful. Rock that back and forth and just start a little bit of a plie action here. So if the knees are going over the toes initially, don't even worry about it. Because when we start to lift the heels, you'll find that if you're too wide, it's an awkward lift. So we're just going to go down and up here a little bit, just starting to warm up that kind of plie position so the inner thighs are opening. So it's not a squat, it's an inner thigh. I'm going to come back to this. I just want to get a little movement here in the hips in that turnout position. Go ahead and stay down here and give a little bob. Don't overdo it. Let's go 4, 3, 2, 1. Press it tall. Turn the knees to the front, knees, hips, ankles, and now squat it. So instead of the bum being kind of tucked under, now you're pushing that booty back. Neutral spine, neutral pelvis. If you're ever not sure if you're maintaining that nice neutral, that pull going down the line of your back, right? Where your apexes are between the neckline and the lumbar spine. Everything else is nice and solid. It's just a great way of just making sure that you're keeping nice and neutral. Hold it down this time, little pulses. 5, draw the abs in. 4, 3, 2, relax the shoulders, drop the elbows, lift those heels and lower. So let's find that ankle strength work again. Let's go 2 more. Hold it in the up. Just move the knees and the hips. Pulse, pulse. Really try and get that weight more to the inside of the foot versus the baby toes. Lengthen tall. Lower the heels. Go singles. Squat. Releve. Grow tall. And lower. Give me 1 more. Squat. Releve. Grow tall. And lower. Reverse for 1. Rise up. Squat down, lower the heels, place the bar in front, one hand on top of the other, push that away, drop down into your armpits. Now if that's tight, bring that in, bend the elbows a bit. If it feels okay, push it out a bit farther and start that little rocking forward and backwards. So I'm trying to untuck my tailbone, send my booty away. I'm lifting the balls of my feet as I lean back into my heels, getting a little exaggerated stretch, that whole posterior line. And I'm aware of the abs pulled in. Bend the knees, drop the head, drop the tailbone, curl as you come in, pull that bar towards you a little bit, and just extend back. So as I extend back, I'm just going to give those little lazy wiggles. I'm not worrying about zippering and just moving thoracic. I'm bending the knees and I'm letting my hips go forward here as well. So I'm allowing a little bit more movement, a little disconnected, but I'm bending the knees to take the pressure off the back. Look to one side, look to the other. Start that pull going with your movement. So I'm going to bend my elbow as I kind of do a semicircle and bring that elbow in behind. So starting that larger movement. Now if that's hard on the back, please just stand taller versus leaning it back slightly. Bring it back to center, pull yourself to neutral again. And I want you to hinge. So instead of rounding, hinge forward. Switch which hand is on top, you guys. Rock back and forth and stretch out that hand on top. So I'm leaving my arm on top. My other hand is dropping down my pole and I'm dropping into the one shoulder. So you should feel quite a good stretch in the one shoulder here. Bend and straighten your legs here. So I'm going to bend and then push the tush out. And then bend and push the tush. Go one more time. Bend and push, and then drop your tailbone. If you can keep your legs straight, do so. Roll the spine up, come all the way up. Take that arm that was on top, start a shoulder roll. When it feels good, start an elbow roll, and if it still feels good, it's a big backstroke. As you start the backstroke, I want you to sway from left foot to right foot and feel the whole rhythm start to move in the body. So everything's stirring. And then switch it out to a couple front strokes. Here I'm letting my spine get really wiggly. Let it go, let it go. Everything moving. And then give that a little shake off. Other arm stays on top. Hinge, hinge. If this is tight, you can bend it in tighter, right? But I do want that top arm fairly straight so I can now slide my other hand down, drop into the armpits. Feel that nice stretch going on in the opposite shoulder. Little no on the neckline, get rid of any tension, and then bend and straighten. So we're just going to do that again here for 3. Push it out. Go 2. Other arm on top, getting the stretch in the armpit. Hold here nice and strong, and then tuck your tailbone. If you can keep your legs straight, do so. Round the spine to slowly come in. Pull that pull all the way in towards you. And again, start that shoulder roll. When it feels good, it's an elbow roll, looking front, looking back. Big backstroke when it's working for you. And then breathe, change it into front stroke. Wiggle it around for me, guys. And then go ahead and just wiggle that right off. Let's bring the pull up and get those shoulders moving a little bit more. So I'm parallel sits bones this time, but quite wide on my arms. I'm going to bring them up. As I come up, I'm just going to bend them behind. Try not to arch away from it. Keep it fairly neutral and bring it behind. But if you can go lower, go ahead. This will depend on your tension. So if you've got a short pull and you're tight, you need a longer pull, right? Bring it down to your thighs. That pull is going to determine how wide those arms can go. All right, so I'm going to bring it around, and if I'm able to, I'm going to bring it right down to my booty. Bring it back. So I'm going to open the chest and just move those shoulders in the socket. Move that around. Be mindful as you come up this way. Are you going one arm, then the other to come through? Try and keep it as equal as you can. Go one more time. And then I just want you to take that bar behind your back. If you feel your cervical spine, you've got one vertebrae that sticks out. We're not resting on that, we're below it. So if you go below it and it feels like your shoulders are going to kind of pop off and you're throwing your head forward, I need you to do this in front of your chest. Right? So if that's not achievable, don't push it. My fingers are just relaxing on top. I'm holding strong, neutral side, neutral pelvis, thoracic and cervical extension. And then bring it back to neutral. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bring it neutral. So having your arms folded in front is perfectly fine. And neutral, one more time. Lift the heart, try not to lead just with the neckline. Bring it back to center. Now maintaining this, keep your hips to me, rotate. It's not going to be very big, right? We're really isolating the chest open here. Bring it back to center. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. 2 more. Inhale, rotate. Don't let your pelvis go. Exhale, center. Last time, inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Slip that into the hands. Bring it all the way back. Roll those shoulders. That's one of those deceiving ones. Take it nice and wide, and we're going to go figure 8. So drop it into your squat. If you need support, you keep your hands here. Otherwise, down it goes. Rotate into lateral. and then a little extension, and then some lateral, and then as deep as you feel you can go here in the front. So I'm just circling through all the movements of the spine. I'm getting rotation, I'm getting flexion, I'm getting extension, and then I'm getting lateral. Switch direction. So everything's getting a little flow here as we flow. We're drawing the abs in. We're moving through the shoulders and the knees and the hips. Finish your last one nice and strong. Bring it all the way down to the floor if you're okay. If not, shins or quads, and then press those legs to straight. Internally rotate the hips and just let yourself go into that forward fold. Look through your legs, let your head dangle at the very top of your spine, relax your shoulders. Inhale, exhale here. You can sway from left to right if you want. You can sway forward and backward, whatever feels good for you. And then bend the knees and drag that all the way back up, vertebrae by vertebrae. You got it. Go ahead and take that pole, and let's just take it to the side of the body and get into that lateral a bit more. So I'm just going to start with that little side bend. My feet are fairly close together, sits bones maybe a bit wider. And then if I'm feeling okay, I'm going to start to reach the arm and the pole off to the side. So getting a little deeper into the lateral. Now I'm keeping between two planes of glass here, but let's say that that's bothering my lower back or my QL is tight. I'm going to reach slightly forward, tuck my tailbone, and then push the pole forward at a bit of an angle and then come out. So I've changed the direction. Instead of going straight between two planes of glass, I'm slightly folding forward. That's going to get QL. So if your lower back's a bit miffy, just kind of play with that angle a bit. Go ahead and stay here. Push the pole one way as you lean your hips the other. Look to the floor. Take a couple breaths. Hello, Missy. How are you? Nice big inhale. And then come all the way out. Go ahead and roll that shoulder. Let's do it on the other side. So I'm starting in close. If I'm really tight in the shoulders, I'll start here. If I'm okay, I'm going to go here. Still okay, I'm going to add the full reach. I like to look the direction I'm reaching so my neck is a bit more relaxed position. I'm leaning my hips in opposition to the direction of the push of my arms. And if it's that QL, I'm going to fold forward. When I fold forward, I bend my knees a little bit. I tuck my bum like a puppy dog got hit in the bum. And you sort of tuck under. That's what I'm looking for there. That extra little tuck gets that QL getting a little bit more active versus here is straight lateral rib cage. They're both correct. You just kind of listen to where your body needs to go. You can even go into lateral, fold forward, come back into lateral. That one actually feels quite lovely. When I fold, I bend the knees, I tuck the tailbone, I round, and then I straighten out as I come into my more lateral position. One more time, bend and round, and come into lateral, and then come all the way out. So whenever we're doing that warm up, you guys, you can play with that lateral position, right? So let's get a little bit into pull down just for a moment, actually. And let's do a little foundation flow just to get a little bit more heat and a little bit more extension supported. Reach it up, come around the corner, knees, hips, ankles are going to bend, hands to the floor, walk it out in 4, 3, knees down on 2 and 1. Keep going forward with the hands feeling too far forward. Uncurl the toes and bring the body down. So let's do some floppies. Heels into the tush, bend the knees, lateral rotation, reach the legs away. From here, don't engage the glutes, don't engage the abs, and just come up floppy. Let that back feel a little opener here. And bring it down. So remember, if you're tight in that lower back and your butt squeezes, it's to protect the back. We're trying to allow that back to release. You'll feel a deep stretch through the hip flexors if you're tight, and you'll feel a stretch into the lumbar spine area, that lower back area, feeling almost compression, which is actually what we're looking for here. And then bring it down. We're going to do it one more time. Press it all the way through. Find what feels challenging but still very controlled in your own body. And then bring it all the way down. Let's go Sphinx to warm that up. So legs a little bit more parallel, open is comfortable. Get your elbows underneath you. Stack your shoulders down. Push into your palms, press away, and draw those abs in. So my abs now are drawing in. I'm not looking for the compression. I'm pulling away from it. So I'm drawing the abdominals off. My pubic bone is still down, however. Retract the shoulders and depress them slightly. If the head's okay, neck is okay, you're going to look straight forward in this pattern. And let's find a couple really strong breaths here. Super hard place to breathe strong. We're opening our chest, which is just sort of a vulnerable position, and so a lot of us tend to not breathe very deep here. And it also forces the breath to go into the back intercostal muscles, which it's where it goes. But when you breathe deeper, it forces more stretch, and that's a difficult area to kind of press our breath into. One more. As you exhale, turn your elbows out to the side and slowly let yourself come down. Bring your hands into push-up position, but narrow. Press back, and let's get those toes warmed up. So I'm very purposely going to curl my toes underneath, and then I'm going to sit back into my hips. So on this sit back, you can be rounded if you feel a little tight, or you can come up to fingertips and be a little more lengthened. So you can play with that. And we are going to take that into a bit of a cat-cow. So I'm going to round to get into that lower back, tucking underneath. My knees don't like this. I can come into more traditional 4-point, right? And then I'm going to untuck and lengthen. And then round and try and tuck my tailbone right under. And then untuck and lengthen. And then this time as I round, I'm going to walk back and lean into my heels. Toes not inviting it, come up higher. Again, you can be on knee pad. If your toes are okay, stay back with your weight, stretching out those toes. Just depends on how it feels. Grab that pole, and from here we're just going to lift and lower. So when I lift and lower, it's neutral spine, neutral pelvis. The movement is coming from the glute. The hip flexor's opening, yet the glute and the hamstring pushing you forward, more so glute. We're going to lift and bring it down. Let's go for 4. I want a good butt squeeze when you come up here. 3, I want you to feel your activation of that gluteal. 2 more, glute max. And go 1, stay in the up, uncurl the toes. From here, I'm in parallel. I'm going to slightly laterally rotate out. Right, so the small lateral, you don't have to, but most of us are pretty tight and straight on for quad. Bring the bar in front of you, and I want you to just lie back in your thighs, just your thighs. So I didn't open up my spine, I just laid right back. Retract your shoulders a bit, pull your elbows down, pull your abs in, slightly supported spine so the glutes are turned on. Lie back into your thigh, feel your quad turn on, and then bring it forward. Why am I yelling? The microphone's right here. Sorry, guys. Lie it back. I'm looking at you guys in the screen and I'm yelling at you. Does anyone else do that when they go on Zoom? Or talking to the phone and they scream at it? Like, I need to scream so you can hear me? Ugh. So if this is feeling good, you can take your arms and go into more extension. I'm going to be very delicate with this, but if you feel good, you can bring the arms behind and lift deeper into thoracic. So I haven't gone very far back, but if you're feeling good, go for it. Open that up. Bring the thoracic and the cervical back into position with the shoulders. Come up with the thighs. So lean back first with the thighs. Then I'm going to lift my thoracic and cervical into a bit of extension. The arms are gently going to go farther, harder. Bring those arms back. Bring the head and the thoracic spine back. Then bring the thigh forward. One last time. Through the thigh. Lifting the heart and the cervical. Open the bar. Bring everything back. Then bring the quad back. Place that bar nice and strong. Actually, let's do a down dog first. Leave that down. We'll come right back for it. Curl the toes, bring it up, and give me some paddling here, you guys. Push your heels so you can walk your feet away to get more stretch. Don't lose your head between your arms. I'm not into the shoulder stretch right now. I'm kind of holding a plank, a piked plank. And I'm paddling my feet, so I'm stretching my toes, yet as I push my heel down each time, I should be getting a calf stretch. If you have one calf a little tighter than the other, hang out there. I just noticed that my right, when I was doing that pedaling, is much tighter than my left. So I'm going to spend some time maybe holding the side that seems a little miffy. Drop both heels. And then from there, sink into your shoulders. Now, too much pressure in the back. I need you to lift your heels, bend your knees, and then drop into your shoulders. So now I do want this to be about that shoulder opener. As you exhale, go a little deeper into the shoulder. Try not to roll out on your baby toes. If you can look at your feet, make sure you're not rolling out. And then come out of your chest line a little bit. Walk your hands back slightly. Grab your pole part way. So I've got my pole. I'm going to make a fist so I can walk with it. And then get them all the way in. Bend the knees. Slowly drag to tall. Give a little wiggle. And then just throw your pole across the room. No, don't do that. So holding the pole in the opposite hand to the leg that's forward. Opposite hand to the leg that's forward. From here, we're going to square up our hips. I'm up on the back ball of foot, and I'm just going to start my knee action. I'm feeling a little unsupported today, so maybe I'm going to keep that pole in nice and tight, and I'm not going to move it. If I'm feeling good, I'm going to reach it forward as I lunge. I'm coming forward with my chest. I'm not keeping my chest up. Feeling good, you're going to grab one weight, and you're going to reach and pull. Reach and pull. So you're going to notice I am not moving my pole today. This is my leg that gets a little pissy at me, so I'm keeping my hand right underneath me to give me some love. Let's go 2 more. And 1. Now stay forward a little bit. Walk forward with the foot. Plant that pole farther forward. Harder, in close. More love. Bring the leg up. And now I'm going to lower and lift. Turn this hip to the floor. Inhale, exhale. Or ASIS, should I say. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Bend both knees as you carefully bring it up to tall. So in tall position, I'm going to reach for the sky. Watch, you're not hip hiking. Lift and lower. If you don't need the pole, and you can work on your own balance here, go ahead. So where you don't need the pole, you won't use it. It's there should you need the love. Go 2 more. And 1. And then we're just going to keep the foot here, and I'm going to turn it an angle. Without hiking the hip, I'm going to push that heel behind me without arching. So keep your body nice and strong and neutral. So knee forward, knee back. You should feel your glute and hamstring. Notice as it comes back, are you crossing it through your midline? It's coming straight back. It wants to turn into lateral. Keep it parallel. Keep it parallel. You will notice your ass turns on more if you keep it parallel versus your piriformis. That's not wrong. It's just a different muscle we're trying to focus on. Now stay back here, right? So it might be slightly behind the other leg. It might not. Turn the hip open, close the hip. Open it, close it. The only thing opening and closing is the hip that you're mobilizing, not the one you're standing on. Go 2 more. Now keep it open like a hurdler step. Bring it all the way around. And let's just mobilize some circles for 4. If you notice the arm that you're holding the pole with is getting tired, you're probably death gripping. Go easy. Reverse it. Reverse it. We're just looking for mobility here, guys. And then bring that foot back down behind you. Lift your chest. And now it's a back leg bent position. From this weight is this the weight's up in the sky and you're bringing it down. Ooh, that took a lot for me to say. Let's go 4. Here you're watching, you're not dropping your pelvis. Rib and hip are staying connected, right? So bend the knees to get down there versus twisting through the pelvis. Stay in the down as deep as you can. Reach that arm forward, rotate to the weighted side and bring it back. Rotate, bring it back. If you rotate your pelvis, you'll lose your balance. Go 2 more. And 1. Hold it center. Lower that knee. Let's go into the stretch. So you can go ahead and put the weight down. I'm going to put it forward to the hand that I need to grab it with next. I'm going to lean into this hip, lift the heart. If that's a good stretch, I'll stay there. If I want a bit more, I'm going to reach that arm or switch the stick hand and go into bind on the back hip. Totally up to you. Again, I'm staying out of my hip flexor stretches. So if you're anything like me where you've got anything going on in the hips, you can casually just work in and out of the movement versus holding into the movement. I'm just going to drift. Beautiful. Gently let that go. Put the pole down and then hinge back into the hamstrings. Point and flex that front foot. Now, if this is super tight in the hamstrings, you can actually keep the pull. Just watch you don't lose your balance. And you can go back and forth using that pull. Inhale, exhale for me. And then put both hands in the front, in between the leg. Take this leg all the way around, and we're in this little 4-point stance. We're going to do a little bit of movement here. I still have the pole in my hand. I'm making a fist. It's to the floor. So I've got double fists on the floor. Curl the toes, lift an inch. Now, if fists don't work, you can put your hand flat. I'm going to hold a short plank 1 for 4, 3, 2. Lower that down. Take a little breath. Engage those abs. Pull it up into your belly button. Shoulders down into your back pockets and lift. I'm parallel. My shins are parallel to the floor. 4, 3, 2, and lower. Now I'm going to flatten this hand because I need to move the pivoting a little bit here. I'm going to lift, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate my knees first. Then I'm going to pull the pull off. Then I'm going to look to the sky, bring the pull forward, rotate my torso as far as I can, then let my hips return. So it's knees and hips, lower back. Pull, reach to the sky. Bring that hand down as far as you can. Rotate your thoracic component. Then your lower half joins. So make this very sequential. Knees and hips, torso. Pull to look through. Bring that all the way down. Look to the floor. Reach as far as you can. Get a twist. Then bring your knees back. Release. Uncurl those nasty toes. Sink back into rounded spine or tall, whatever recovery you feel you want to go into. And just move your pull to the other side. We're going to use it right away on the other side. Couple inhales, exhales. Place your hands strong. Let's go into that down dog or elephant again. Find a little paddling. Get your shoulders away from your ears. So automatically, this is what we tend to do. We sucker those elbows and shoulders right up to our ears. Pull them down. Right? Relax that out. And then let's walk back. You're going to grab that pull part way. So 3, 2, on the very last step, grab your pull, slowly come all the way up. So now the pull should be in your opposite hand. We're going to reach forward with the opposite leg as to the hand with just holding the pull. You can start that movement first, press and push away. Look at your knee on this first movement. Before you go grabbing your weight, make sure that you're not collapsing your knee over your big toe. It can go over the big toe when it talks about forward and backwards, but when it talks about side to side, I want it more in line with my baby toe, so I turn on that nice big glute muscle. If I can get up on the back ball of foot, I'm going to do that. If I'm feeling good, I start a reach of the pull and a reach of the arm. Tendency here will be to keep the chest tall and just move forward in the leg. The chest and torso are moving with that pattern. And breathe. So this is a straight back leg lunge, and it co-recruits that glute a little differently than the second lunge that we did there. Go one more time. Now stay part way down. Inchworm it in. Shoulders come down, abs pulled in, and tick-tock up. Again, tick-tock can be here. Or I can be right down, lower, lift, lower, lift. Inhale, exhale. If you don't need that pull or you don't need very much weight into it, don't use it. I need it. If you don't need it, get rid of it. 4, 3, stabilizer's working, but we are warming up the hamstring extension through the glute. Pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to bend both knees and we're slowly going to come to the front. As we come to the front, this hip likes to go, or pelvis side likes to go, well, I'll help you lift your hip higher. And I want it to stay down. So you're square. Slight bend in the knee. If you don't need the pull, don't use it. And we're just going to pulse up. So again, if you're finding your balance is there, hold your pull. Shoulders down. 4, 3, 2. And then we're going to start that flex. My foot is flexed. I'm going to push my foot back. It'll like to go into lateral rotation. Keep it parallel. Bring it forward. Press it back. If you don't need the pull, don't use it. Working the foundation, the peroneals in the side of the leg, all the small muscles in the foot. Lisa's got an excellent option going here. She's taken her hand and she's put it in through the waistline to feel that she's shortened one side over the other. Your hand on rib hip check is a massive feedback tool. Now keep it back here, open it, close it, open it, close it. If you've got, and I'm just going to do this on both legs and you'll see the difference. I'm trying to get internal rotation here, and that's as far as this hip. This is my bad hip. That's as far as it'll go. If you can internally rotate, I know that sounds silly, but I actually cannot put that knee to the other knee. I don't have that internal rotation right now in this leg. If you've got it, keep it. Keep it in parallel, and let's go open and bring it around. So it's like we're hurdling. Back, open, and come around. If you feel yourself swaying your pelvis or hiking your hips to do this, be like me, and I am stirring a very low pot. My hip is not lifting very high. That's what I got. That's what I'm working with. That's what I'm going to do. Other direction. So honor what's going on in your body. I can make it look bigger, right? But what's moving? Well, not my hip. It's just my frickin' pelvis going crazy. I'm just going to piss off my back. And then from there, we're going to take that leg behind, anchor it, and come into our lunge. So now my pelvis with bent knee is going straight down the center of my body. I'm going to pull from the sky. I'm going to exhale and inhale. Let's go 4 and 3, 2, and then stay in the down for me. Reach the arm. How far down? Totally up to you. Get this shoulder down and away and rotate away from the pole. If you can hold deeper, go for it. The farther back this leg is, the more you're going to push into the hip flexor. So if you've got some hip flexor issues, you get that foot a little closer. Go 2 more. And last one. And then carefully bring that knee down, uncurl the toe. You can get rid of that weight. So here you can either press in and out of this hip, hold it forward, reach with one arm, or switch the pole and go into the bind on the back leg. For me, I'm just going to float in and out. I need you to go where you need to. Find your breath. Still get some extension in through that thoracic. Try not to deny it. Allow it to happen. And then hold if it feels good. One more cycle of breath. And then we're going to push the hips to the back, lift up that foot, and go into hamstring. So if you're a little tight, you can use your fingertips on and hand down. You can put your hand into your leg, not on your knee. Right? So if you're trying to go straight, maybe the front of my top part of my quad, and then I lean forward, but I'm definitely supporting myself. I could go down here. Down here is going to be more aggressive. You'll feel more stretch to the back of the knee. Here's less aggressive with your body weight. One more big breath. And then both hands down on the floor into the inside. Sweep that leg around. So we're going to go into that fist position. Curl the toes, abs engaged, shoulders into back pockets. Lift an inch. Let's just hang out. 5, 4, short plank 1, 3, 2, and 1. Down you go. Remember, it's neutral spine, neutral pelvis. We're going to go ahead and push up again. Before you push up, sneak your shoulders. Stabilization of shoulders is slightly depressed and slightly retracted. Not aggressively, but slightly, right? Hold again for 4, 3. So ears should be nice and mobile. You're not wearing your shoulders for earrings. Bring it down. Now I'm going to put that hand down. I'm going to spread out my fingers, and I'm going to start that mobilization of rotation. So I'm going to lift. I'm going to rotate the hips and the pelvis first, like I'm kind of turning my booty. And then I'm going to bring it all the way up to the sky. Bring that hand as far down as you can, and then de-rotate. You can do this on the elbow too, gang. Right? So rotate the hips. Bring that all the way up. Bring the hand down as far as you can. Rotate. And then de-rotate the rest of the spine. 2 more. Rotate. Bring it up. Bring it all the way down. Reach. And de-rotate. One last time. Rotate. Bring it up. Bring it back down. De-rotate. Release it down. Hands nice and wide. Get rid of that pull for a moment. Lift. Find that little wiggle. And this time we're going to walk our feet to our hands coming forward. Bend the knees as you need to. We're coming all the way to the front of our mat. Ragdoll if it feels good. I'm ragdolling with support. My elbows are on my quads. Supports my back. I still want to let my head dangle at the top of the spine. So I want to look straight through my legs. On the way up, grab that pole. Peel it to tall. No major spinal issues. We're going to squat right down to passive squat and then roll onto our backs. If you don't like that, please just sit down. So we're going to find a big squat. Go as deep as you can. If you can go deeper, go ahead. And then I'm just going to roll and then come right back up on my booty. So from here, my heels are in the corner of the mat. This traditionally is done with your legs in closer sits bones. I like it a little wider. Hamstrings are tight, lower back is tight. Bend the knees and pop yourself up on a prop. Hold your pole nice and wide. Drift your shoulders. So if your elbows are up here, my shoulders are rotating forward. I want to drop my elbows down so I can take my shoulder and just roll it back in its socket. And then I'm just going to do spine twist. Inhale, rotate. Inhale, rotate. Don't let your pelvis go. Inhale, rotate. Now right here, I want you to take your front hand, push back on the back hand and allow it to rotate you a little longer. You also get a pec stretch. And then bring it back to center. Inhale, rotate. Sit tall, rotate. Sit tall, rotate. Now push into the front hand. Look towards the back hand. Big breath. Exhale, bring it center. One more time. Inhale, rotate. Inhale, rotate. Inhale, rotate, go as far as you can. Now push a little bit. Big breath here. De-rotate, one last time. Inhale, rotate, get your shoulders away from your ears, guys. Inhale, rotate. Inhale, rotate, push a little bit. Big breath. All the way to center, beautiful. Sink those little babies underneath and then scoot your bum towards the front. If you have anything behind you, get rid of it. Take your hand weights, move them a little farther up so you've got them should you want to use them. And here I'm just going to move in towards that rolling like a ball. So I'm starting or rocking, sacral rock into open leg rocker. Sorry guys, what the hell is that called? So I'm going to scoop off my sits bones. I'm in lateral rotation. I'm going to drag it in. I'm going to underhand grip my bar, right? Otherwise we do this with our shoulders. So underhand grip, use that to lift a little bit. Notice that I just rotated, you probably didn't, but I just rotated off to my right side. I need to turn on my dumbass side and then lengthen back out. So when you lengthen out, you may not straighten the legs. That's okay. Inhale, scoop off your sits bones. Exhale, slide that into the nook of the knee. My palms are open. I'm pushing that up. And then I'm going to lengthen back out. One last time, scoop. This time we're going to stay here and we're going to go into open leg rocker balance work. So this depends on your flexibility. I want to bring my shins parallel to the sky or the floor. From here I'm going to reach and float it down. So the closer your legs are, the harder that'll be. Open them, reach, bring it down. They may not go straight. That's okay. My lumbar spine is in a nice strong flexion. And my thoracic is lengthening as I reach if I'm able to. It's not extending, but it is reaching. And then I'm going to deepen. And then I'm going to reach. Now I'm going to do my open leg rocker, but I'm going to go with bent knees to start with. I'm going to roll back, straighten the legs at the end, and then come up. And if I can, I'll straighten the legs here. Yeah. So as I roll back, I'm going to bend the knees and then straighten, and then bend and straighten. Now, if you can keep straight legs the whole time and keep your balance, go ahead. This should be funny looking for me today. Inhale back. Exhale, lengthen. And I didn't get up to my tailbone. So I'm going to lengthen and opens. You want to find that balance. So we're going to scoop deeper to initiate the movement. And then you've got to change your abs to lengthen. It's a tough one. Knees can stay bent. You've got one more. Scoop. Roll it back, bring it through, find your balance, lengthen, and this time bend the knees, roll back, stay back. Roll back and release. Take that bar out and go into your windshield washers. Open up those hip flexors, sway from left to right, getting a little bit of hip mobilization here. So if you notice one side's not moving as nice as the other, again, it's always my left for me. So I'm gonna stay here with my left on top and I'm gonna open and close my hip. If you're equal on both sides, just stay 90-90s on both sides. If you have one side that's sort of like, man, that just doesn't wanna move, and it's locked up, you're gonna play with that ball and socket a little bit. And then hold here. Your pull's just going to stay by your booty. And then we're just going to hold those abs in a nice connection. If you've got the weights, you can use the weights here. We're going to go into our basic toe taps. Knee fold one, knee fold the other. Reach the arms to the sky. If you're choosing your weights, bring them up. If you're choosing your bar, which is lighter, grab it and bring that up. And just start your toe tap. So I'm going to turn my palms to face my knees as I'm doing my toe taps. If I want to make it a little harder, both arms are going to go up and down above the head and come back into play. So I'm going to toe tap and bring it back. Now, if it's feeling good, you know your transitions, right? I can start to straighten my leg out and then pull it back in. If I wanted to work more isometric on the upper torso, I'd leave my arms over my head and not move them at all. And that would be even more challenging because then my weight load is consistently staying over my head. So both are good. If this is feeling good, we're going to go to a very slow double toe tap count. Legs can be straight or they can be scissored, up to you. So I'm going to go down, 2, 3, 4, and up, 2, 3. Or the legs go straight, 2, 3. Don't change the distance between your ribs and hips, 2, 3. Or both go to straight. And again, you can open, which I'm loading the spine fully here. And then I'm not really unloading, I'm just bringing back up. It doesn't unload unless you just kind of lie totally released. And then bring it up. So give me 2 more, nice and slow. Don't yank those legs up quickly. And then bring it up, knee fold one down, knee fold the other. Put your weights off to the side. Grab hold of that pole, put it in front of your chest. And I just want you to do a bench press, down and up. Get your heels in parallel sits bones. Inhale, exhale. Now, not moving too quickly, I'm going to copy a straight press into bench. So I'm going to bench press up and bridge up. So everything's staying strong. Bridge down, bridge up. So I'm not articulating. I'm just going up strong and neutral. At the top, I want a little squeeze of my booty. Down and up. Inhale, exhale. Let's go 3 more and squeeze. And go 2, and squeeze. Hold it in the up. If your feet are too far away, this will be awkward to lift the heels. So you do need your feet in closer, but don't hug them into your ass. Lift your heels, lower your heels. Lift your heels, lower your heels. Watch as you're lifting, you're not rolling your weight out to your baby toe again. There's that connection into that big toe. Be mindful of bunions and arthritis, you guys. That is what it is. You just got to be careful with it. Now, go ahead, keep both feet down. If your legs are too wide, you will twist. You need to be sit bone. Lift one heel. As you lift one heel, feel that butt and hamstring connect, and then bring this leg up. So now my leg is fully up. Now, if that's difficult, I'll just lower lift the heel. If I'm okay, the knee comes up, I toe tap, and I bring it up. Toe tap, bring it up. Feeling good, leg extension. And I'm opening, and I can add my upper torso, open and close. Notice how the leg that's on the ground starts to lean out to the side. Keep it straight in line. Keep it straight in line. Now, as you open up this time, I want you to lower your bum. So your body is hovering over the floor. And then I'm going to lift as I come up. I'm going to hover it over the floor and then squeeze and lift. Don't make this speedy. Go for 4. The knee can be bent. And squeeze as you lift. And 3. So we're bridging up and down as we're doing our arm pattern and leg pattern. Last one. Hold everything reaching to the sky. That'll be a bit easier. Reaching out is going to be harder. Pulse your bum up. Squeeze. Squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put that foot down. Lower the hips. Give your little sway. We'll get a deeper stretch after, I promise. And then reset. Start with your feet nice and strong. Hinge up, bridge, arms pressed. lift their opposite heel. So make sure your sit bone and just practice the lifting of the heel. Once you've got the heel lifting, you can march it up and down. Up and down. This hip of the leg that's moving, that pelvis likes to drop and rotate. And I need to imagine a string on the ASIS reaching to the sky. If this feels good, you go into the leg reaching, right? Still feels good, you can go into the arm action. Still feels good, lower the butt and then hinge to come up. Inhale, exhale. If you feel you could inchworm your foot on the floor a little farther away from your booty, you will get more fire into the glute and the hamstring. Squeeze those glutes. It's not a thruster. My movement is smooth and consistent. Well, I say that. It may not look like that. That's what it's supposed to look like. Let's be real here. Let's go ahead and hold it in the high, working for you. You can bend the knee if that's too much. If it's not, you're going to open it wider, and then you're going to pulse that booty. Squeeze, squeeze. Watch not rolling out on your baby toe. Lift this hip that's in the air. 5, lift that pelvis. 4, 3, don't let it twist. 2, 1, bend that knee. Down she goes. Whew. Windshield washers. Inhale, exhale. We're going to reset with the tabletop. Grab behind one leg, grab behind the other. Roll that up. Beautiful. Fingers facing the same direction as your booty. And then we're just going to open those hips. Look down your body. If you can look to the sky, go ahead. And then flirt the tush. Exhale, squeeze the glutes. So this is still into those glutes, but it's opening the hips at the top. Let's go 2 more. And 1 more. Hold it here, squeezing for 5. Look down your body. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that tush. Reach those legs out. We're going to do hip lift to toe tap. If that's what's in your practice, you'll stay there. If rollovers in your practice, please progress right into rollover right off get-go. So I'm going to roll it down. Feet are down. I find supported spine. Knee fold one, knee fold the other. I'm going to start with hip lift roll, toe tap, but if you're ready for rollovers, go ahead. So I'm going to do a little hip lift. Uncross my legs, gentle toe tap. Opposite leg on top, hip lift. Uncross, toe tap. Working for me. Squeeze the legs together, reach them out. Inhale up. Exhale, over I go. On this first one, I'm always stiff. So I stay here for a moment. I stretch my legs behind my head. I'm still engaged. And I just feel that little stretch happening. And then I connect in nice and strong. Peel it back down vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. And then when the tailbone anchors, you can reach the legs only as far as you don't pop. Harder, arms above the head. Inhale up, exhale over. Oh, that's a little tight. Touch down. Traditionally, there's a lateral rotation and I open about the size of a bender ball between my ankles and I peel it down vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Tailbone anchors. I reach it away. Bring my legs back into parallel. I squeeze them in tight. Inhale up, exhale over. Touch down if you're able to. Little opener. We're just going to do 2 more here, you guys. Finding that beautiful articulation and flexion. Inhale up, exhale over. Listen to your body and what it will invite. Last one. We're going to peel it out. Stay here with bent knees. Grab behind your knees. Use that to roll yourself up. Let's find ourselves in our mermaid. Pop into your mermaid position. Let's just get those hips and body moving in a different direction. I'm going to start with this very small movement of pushing my hip down and bringing it up. Now, you guys know this. My hand is behind me enough that I could lift right up. So if I'm ready, yeah, you got it, Kylie. I'm going to lift right up. If I'm like, you know what? This is jammed up. I just need to stay here, stay here. Otherwise, you're coming up, you're pushing your pelvis forward, and you're extending. And then you're bringing it back down. And then you're extending open and bringing it down. So where you need to go is where you're going to go. Let's go 2 more. Big breath out as you stretch here. Big inhale, should I say. Exhale, hip comes down. Last one. Stay here for 4, 3, 2, bring this down. So from here, we're going to do a little side lateral, but it's going to be done in kneeling. So we will do the other side, I promise, but I want you to come into a kneeling wide squat. Now, if you don't like this, if your knees don't like it, if the wrist is like that, no, I can't go back on my wrist again. I want you to just lie down and do side leg lift series. Otherwise, we're coming up. I'm going to bring my knees in a little tighter. I'm still working that same leg I was extending on, right? That leg that was feeling the stretch. I'm going to teeter-totter and hinge that leg down, right? And this arm is now reaching out. I'm going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. My bottom leg has to be in turnout. Otherwise, it's going to feel really condensed. If I need to curl my toe, I can curl my toe under. Otherwise, I'm lifting and lowering. Go for 3. It's straight up from my hip. Not having this, lie down on your side. This is our kneeling sequence. Rib, rib, hip, hip, square. Keep the leg reaching. Circles. Circles. Let's go. 5, 4. Open your chest. 3, 2. Circle the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it long. Flex the foot. 2 kicks forward. Point the foot, extend it back. So it's inhale, inhale, exhale. Side lying kick series and press. 2 more. Inhale, inhale, neutral side, neutral pelvis. Don't let yourself flex and extend. Finish your last one. You're going to sort of bend your elbow to push off your elbow to press yourself back up. Beautiful. Give a few little wiggles. Mermaid, other side. Sink down. Take the time to settle into your hips. Start to rock forward and backward on the one hip. Let it have some mobility. So I'm slouching as I go back. Now that's a me thing. I need to slouch to get my hip down. If you can sit tall and get your hip down and you don't feel sore, go for it. When you're ready, you're going to start a little lift. If you're good to go, go into your big lift right away. I'm more restricted on this side. So for me, this side will be quite delicate. Right? Choose where you're going to go. Go 1 more and then stay there for me. See if you can look towards that back hand, holding 5, 4, breathe, 3, 2, slowly come out of that. And then just kind of get your legs back there, bring your knees in tighter, up you come. So you might start in parallel for the tick-tock over, but then this leg you're kneeling on will go to lateral rotation, and if you want, you can anchor your toe in the back, right? So I'm trying not to laterally flex to get to the floor. I actually have to lift this knee, and I tick-tock, and then I'm going to anchor the foot or just leave the knee rotated. And here we go. Lift lower. Lift lower. So that knee, hip, ankle is one long straight line, as if I was literally standing on it. So if I was standing up, I would be balancing on this one leg. My abs are drawn in. The movement is not coming from the spine, it's coming from the hip. I'm working glute me, glute min. So if you notice your toe facing the sky, I need you to push your heel to the sky a little bit. And sense how that just changed the equation. We just went glute me, glute min. Now circles. Don't turn that hip to the sky. 4, 3, try not to sink in the hip on the ground. 2, circle the other way for 4, 3, 2, long torsos. Now we're going to flex the foot, dorsiflexion, 2 kicks forward without flexing the spine, 1 extension back with a point of foot. Inhale, inhale, exhale, side lying kick series. 2 more. Should feel that side ass cheek working. 1 more. Now I'm going to bend this elbow a little bit so I can push to come back up. Beautiful. Bring your feet in a little tighter and give a little sway into your hips. Just a little sway there. Now if that sway's not happening, so I can sway on this side, and that's as far as this one goes. But I know I need more stretch here, so I'm going to go down to my hands to take a bit of weight off my hips so I can get the sway going. If you can stay up and do the sway and you feel like you're getting a nice movement in your hips, stay up. If this still isn't getting as much as you think you've got, sit back on your haunches, sit a butt cheek down, sit a butt cheek down. Get a little deeper. So now I've gone right back, but your hips may not or knees may not invite that. So you're going to find where your body can go to get those hips opening up a bit. And we're all going to look different, and that is okay. Bring yourself up. Let's continue with that opening extension sensation. Back onto your bellies. Hips need a little opener. So we're going to do another set of floppies. Have your bar just in front here. Legs are in lateral rotation. Find the corners of your mat so you're equal. And let go of the booty. It's worked hard. Let go of your abs. Come up floppy for a reset. How high? Up to you. You've got to listen to the compression sensation in your back and bring it down. We're allowing that compression sensation to occur, but don't over push it. Float it up gentle. The minute the ass turns on and the abs pull in, your body's fighting. Just let it go down a bit. One more time, and we're going to do our double leg kick. Float it up. Bring it down. Beautiful. I'm just going to take that mic off here. On this one, if you know your shoulders are tight, you're going to need the pole. And it's going to go into kind of the small of your back and your elbows are going to drop. Ideally, a strap is better here, so my hands could drop too. But if you hold wide enough, it's workable. If you don't need the pole, just go ahead and just leave it and put the fingers into the small of your back, right? So right now I'm totally relaxed. My head is turned. I'm looking towards one direction. From here, I'm going to turn my nose so it faces the floor. As that occurs, I'm going to extend my arms back, extend through my thoracic, and open here. So this is where that pole, if you're tight, is going to be a much nicer option. My neck is just in line with the rest of my spine. It's not lifted. I'm going to turn my cheek, and now I'm adding the leg pattern, right? 3 heel pumps. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, extend. Pull your abs up and in. Turn your cheek. 1, 2, 3. Again. 2 more. 1 more strong one for me. Stay here in your extension, you guys. Lift your thoracic and your cervical. Lower your legs. Feet are gently touching. Focus on the shoulder extension, reaching the arms to the back and down. So if you have your hand clasped, unclasp them now. Reach your palms to the sky. You don't need the pull. 4 more. Draw those abs in strong. 3. Could you lift higher in your extension without pushing your belly down and firing the back? If you're okay, flirt the feet off an inch. 4 more. 3. Everything posterior is firing. 2. And 1, relax everything down, get that pull off to the side, push back into child's pose, wide or narrow, up to you, or if your back's feeling good, just come up into tall and give that head a little yes, a little no, nod it off, give it a bit of motion, couple inhales, exhales. And then we're going to press into our down dog to release out. So I've brought my knees back into parallel. Hands are going strong, curling the toes. Up we go. So the back hamstrings and calves just worked there, right? They worked against gravity in extension. So we just want to pedal that out again. As you pedal it out, either walk your feet to your hands or hands to feet, whatever feels good for you. Settle into your hips. I'm wide in a little lateral rotation. I'm going to do a supported ragdoll. Go ahead and unsupport if it feels good for you. My head is at the very top of my spine, dangling, so it's totally relaxed. In this position, I'm giving some little no's and some very modest yeses. I'm taking a recovery breath, big in through the nose, a big sigh through the mouth. Abs are gently turned on, but it's nothing major. And then just slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae, you're going to peel it up. We're going to do the opposite floppy. Imagine where your PSI would be, PSIS, 2 little dimples on the back. You're just going to push those hips a little farther forward. I'm going to bend the knees, and I'm just going to lie backwards a bit. Now, if you're okay, you can extend the rest of the spine and open. So take your elbows, tuck them back, lift that heart. Big breath here. And then slowly bring it back. Give a few little wiggles from left to right. Roll those shoulders. Give a little wiggle in the neckline. Let's do a huge recovery breath up, you guys. Nice strong inhale as we come up. Exhale, hands down, center heart. Go the opposite direction, reach. Open your fingers, pull your palms back. Pull your hands behind you, lift that heart, slowly bring around through the pec line. Beautiful, roll. And we are done. Lovely.